Level 1. The Headless Chicken. Manuel Ugarte. He runs like someone left the handbrake off and just hoped for the best. Manchester United paid £50 million for a midfielder who treats positioning like a suggestion and ball progression like a foreign language. His game is simple. See ball, chase ball, tackle the man, or occasionally the ball. The pressing is relentless, the energy undeniable, but the decision-making, that's still loading. He'll win the ball in brilliant positions, then immediately give it away with a pass that defies logic. At PSG, Luis Enrique used him as a chaos agent. At United, Erik ten Hag tried to give him structure. The structure didn't stick. Ugarte doesn't read the game, he reacts to it. And when the game moves faster than his legs can carry him, he becomes a passenger sprinting in the wrong direction. In 2025, he's still figuring out what a midfielder actually does beyond running really, really hard. Jordan Henderson. Before Klopp turned him into Liverpool's midfield engine, Henderson was just another runner. Legs for days, heart at the size of Anfield, but tactical awareness that felt accidental. At Sunderland, he ran hard. At Liverpool under Dalglish and Rodgers, he ran harder. But when Klopp arrived, something shifted. Henderson stopped just running and started understanding space, timing, and when not to press. He became the system's metronome, not its chaos. That's the thing about level 1 midfielders. Some stay there forever, some evolve. Henderson proved these players aren't beyond saving. They just need someone to teach them that energy without intelligence is just expensive cardio. Then you've got Fred. The man was a human pinball at Manchester United, bouncing between positions, ricocheting off opponents, and occasionally smashing into his own teammates. When he arrived in 2018, fans thought they were getting a Brazilian technician. Instead, they got a Yorkshire Terrier in football boots. Fred's best moments came from pure chaos. Win the ball, sprint forward, misplace a pass, win it back again, repeat until someone else took over. His positioning was a mystery even to himself. Pressing the goalkeeper 1 second, somehow back on the halfway line the next. But fans loved him. Not because he was good, but because he tried, every single second. Now at Fenerbahce, he's back to doing what he does best. Running everywhere, structure be damned. Level 2. The Destroyer. Gennaro Gattuso. He didn't play football, he went to war. Every match was a battlefield, every opponent a target, every tackle a statement. At AC Milan, he was the shield that allowed Pirlo, Kaká, and Seedorf to create art. While they painted, Gattuso demolished anyone who got close to the canvas. His game was built on one principle. If you want the ball, you'll have to go through me first. And nobody wanted to go through Gattuso. 5 feet 9 inches of rage and a motor that never quit. He didn't care about possession statistics or pass completion. He cared about winning duels, protecting his teammates, and making opposition midfielders spend more time on the ground than on the ball. His forward passing was functional at best, his dribbling non-existent. But Milan didn't need him to do those things. They needed him to win the ball back, hand it to someone creative, and be ready if the ball was lost. N'Golo Kante. He might be the most beloved player in Premier League history who never scored more than 5 league goals in a season. At Leicester in 2015-16, he was everywhere. There were jokes that he'd somehow cloned himself because one player shouldn't be able to cover that much ground. He intercepted passes that looked impossible to reach, won tackles, and did it all with a smile that made it look effortless. Then Chelsea paid £32 million to bring him to Stamford Bridge, and he did it again. Another title, another season of making 2 midfielders look like 5. The difference between Kante and most ball winners is efficiency. He didn't dive into tackles recklessly. He read the game, positioned himself perfectly, and intercepted before the opponent even realized the danger. His passing was simple but effective. Win the ball, give it to Hazard or Fabregas, let them create. Repeat for 90 minutes. His move to Al Ittihad in 2023 signaled the end of his European peak. But at his best, Kante was the blueprint for what Level 2 can achieve. Claude Makelele. He was so good at his role that they named the position after him. The Makelele role. Sitting in front of the defense, breaking up attacks, keeping the team balanced. At Real Madrid, he was the invisible key to the Galacticos, while Zidane, Figo, Ronaldo and Raul got the headlines, Makelele did the work nobody noticed. When Florentino Perez let him leave for Chelsea in 2003, calling him unimportant, Real Madrid's defense collapsed. Suddenly, everyone realized what he'd been doing all along. At Chelsea, he became the foundation of Mourinho's dominance. 2 Premier League titles, defensive solidity, and a system built entirely around his ability to protect the back line. He didn't score, he didn't assist, but he made everyone around him better by doing the dirty work with perfection. Zidane himself said Makelele was the most important player at Madrid, not him. That's the power of level 2 at its absolute peak. Essential, not spectacular. They're not the artists, they're the bodyguards of the art.
Level 3. The system player, Scott McTominay. He spent years at Manchester United being simultaneously underrated and overused. The academy graduate who somehow became a starter under 3 different managers. Not because he was brilliant, but because he was reliable. McTominay's problem at United was simple. He was asked to do everything, so he mastered nothing. Press high, sit deep, carry the ball, score goals, win duels, dictate tempo. The result was a midfielder who looked out of his depth in every role, despite being perfectly functional in each one. In 2024, he moved to Napoli, and something clicked. Under Antonio Conte, his role became defined. Win second balls, recycle possession, and arrive late in the box. No more trying to be Scholes and Keane in one body. Just be disciplined, be functional, and let others do what you can't. Conte's understanding and McTominay's interpretation earned him a Ballon d'Or nomination, a testament to how a level 3 midfielder can be utilised. Declan Rice. Arsenal spent £105 million on him in 2023, and the debate has raged ever since. Is he elite or just very good? The truth is somewhere in the middle. Rice is good at everything: defending, carrying the ball, passing, positioning, leadership. But he's not exceptional at any one thing. What he does is stabilise. At West Ham, he was their entire midfield, winning the ball, progressing it forward, covering for everyone. At Arsenal, his role is more defined but also more limited. He wins the ball, gives it to Ødegaard, and makes sure the defensive transition is covered. Occasionally, he'll carry forward and create danger. Occasionally, he'll score. But those moments are highlights, not his baseline. The question with Rice is whether he can evolve into level 4 or 5, or if this is his ceiling. In 2025, he's still answering that question. For now, he's exactly what a top team needs in the system. Not a superstar, but the player who makes superstars possible. Federico Valverde. He is Real Madrid's Swiss Army knife. Need someone to cover ground on the right flank? Valverde. Need a midfielder to carry the ball in transition? Valverde. Need a late runner into the box? Valverde. His engine is absurd. He can sprint for 90 minutes without slowing down, cover defensive gaps, and still arrive in the box for a thunderous strike. He operates within Real Madrid's structure brilliantly, but he doesn't dictate the rhythm or orchestrate the flow. Valverde executes. His passing is quick and efficient, usually in 2 or 3 touches. His positioning is intelligent. His work rate is relentless. But he's not the brain of the operation. He's the engine that powers the brain's decisions. A brilliant system player who makes football work without making it special. Level 4. The creator, Kevin De Bruyne. He sees football in slow motion while everyone else is stuck in real time. At Manchester City, he was the creative heartbeat for nearly a decade. The player who turns half chances into tap-ins, who delivers crosses so perfect they feel scripted, who finds passes that don't exist until he plays them. His treble-winning season was a masterclass in creating. Through balls that split entire defenses, set pieces that felt automatic, De Bruyne transforms possession into danger. Every touch weighted perfectly, every decision made a second before the defender realizes. But here's what keeps him at level 4 instead of higher. He doesn't control tempo. He doesn't dictate when the team speeds up or slows down. He operates in the final third, where his vision and execution are unmatched. But the deeper rhythm control, the positional chess, that's not his domain.
Injuries have plagued him since 2024, raising questions about longevity. But at his peak, De Bruyne represents level 4 at its absolute ceiling. The architect of chances who sees passes others don't. Bruno Fernandes. He is chaos and brilliance in equal measure. Since 2020, he's been Manchester United's saviour, their scapegoat, and everything in between. Bruno's game is built on risk. He'll attempt 15 passes that nobody else would try. 10 will fail, 5 will create chances, 2 will result in goals, and somehow the math works out. His vision is elite, his range absurd. He can hit a 50-yard switch with his weak foot, curl a corner onto someone's head, or thread a ball through 3 defenders into a striker's path. He also gives the ball away more than any top midfielder should. In 2023/24, he led the Premier League in chances created. He also led United's midfield in possession lost. That's Bruno. High risk, high reward, and occasionally high frustration. Under Ten Hag, he played everywhere. As a 10, as an 8, even as a false 9. The problem was consistency. In big games, he could disappear. In smaller games, he'd grab 2 assists and a goal. The talent is undeniable. The discipline is still a question mark. Martin Ødegaard. He has quietly become one of the Premier League's most important midfielders. At Arsenal, he's the conductor who sets the rhythm, the creator who unlocks defences, and the leader who keeps the team balanced. After years bouncing between Real Madrid's loan army, he found his home in North London, and once Arteta made him captain in 2022, he elevated to another level. Ødegaard operates in pockets of space most players don't recognise. He drifts between the lines, receives the ball under pressure, and releases it with perfect weight and timing. His assists don't always look spectacular, but they're devastatingly effective. A simple pass that takes out 3 defenders, a flick that puts Saka one-on-one, a cutback that finds Havertz unmarked. He operates in Arsenal's attacking third, making things happen rather than controlling the entire midfield's rhythm. By 2025, injuries and a dip in form overshadow his quality, but the quality is definitely there.
Level 5. The Controller. Toni Kroos. Described as world-class, but weirdly still feels a bit underappreciated. Every pass calculated 3 moves ahead. Every decision made with millimeter precision. Every touch designed to control the game's tempo without anyone realizing. At Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, he redefined what midfield control meant. Kroos didn't need to run. He made the ball do the running. A simple turn, a 5-yard pass, and suddenly the opposition's press was broken. A switch to the opposite flank, and the opposition's defensive structure collapsed. His final season in 2023-24 was a reminder of what football loses when players like him stop. Real Madrid won La Liga and the Champions League, and Kroos orchestrated every second. 95% pass completion, not because he played safe, but because he played smart. He returned to Germany's national team for Euro 2024, and even at 34, he controlled matches that younger, faster players couldn't. Rodri. He is the closest thing to the complete controller in modern football. At Manchester City, he's the reason their machine works. Break him, and they break. The 2023 Champions League final against Inter, where he scored the winning goal, cemented his place among the elite. But it wasn't the goal that mattered most. It was the 90 minutes of positional perfection, tempo control, and defensive coverage that made the goal possible. Rodri reads danger before it develops. He positions himself to cut passing lanes, intercepts balls that look unwinnable, and transitions defense into attack with 2 touches. Guardiola built his system around Rodri's ability to control space and dictate rhythm. When he's on the pitch, City dominate. When he's not, they look vulnerable. His 2024 Ballon d'Or cements his status. Michael Carrick. He was the player nobody appreciated until he was gone. At Manchester United, playing alongside Scholes, Giggs and Ronaldo, Carrick was the quiet one. The one who didn't score screamers or deliver Hollywood assists. He just made everything work. His positioning was flawless. He knew where to be before the ball arrived, how to receive under pressure, and when to release it forward. Ferguson called him the most underrated player he'd ever managed, and he was right. Carrick controlled games without anyone noticing. A simple pass to the left, a turn away from pressure,
a ball into feet that started an attack. After he retired in 2018, United's midfield collapsed. They spent years trying to replace him. Matic, Fred, McTominay, Casemiro, none of them could do what Carrick did: control the tempo, protect the defense, and enable attackers, all in the same move. Sergio Busquets. Pep Guardiola said it best: "You watch the game, you don't see Busquets. You watch Busquets, you see the whole game." At Barcelona, he was the anchor of the greatest team ever assembled. Not Messi, not Xavi, not Iniesta. Busquets, the one who made it all work. He didn't tackle like Makelele. He didn't pass like Xavi. He just controlled space, positioning himself perfectly, intercepting passes before they were dangerous, and recycling possession with 1 or 2 touches. He made defending look boring because he made it look easy. By the time opponents realized he'd intercepted the ball, Barcelona were already attacking again. His move to Inter Miami in 2023 reunited him with Messi. Even at 36, he's still controlling matches with the same intelligence that made him untouchable at Barcelona. Arguably the greatest controller ever.
Level 6, the all-phase midfielder. Luka Modric. At 40 years old in 2025, he's still playing for AC Milan, still starting, still controlling matches. That alone tells you everything. Modric is the master of balance. He can defend when needed, dictate tempo when required, and create chances when the game demands it. His career peak came between 2016 and 2018. 3 straight Champions Leagues, led Croatia to a World Cup final, won the Ballon d'Or, because he did everything. Press resistance under impossible pressure, passes that split defenses, defensive coverage that protected Marcelo and Carvajal, stamina that lasted 120 minutes in finals. He didn't have one elite skill, he had 6, and he knew exactly when to deploy each one. Modric understands football at a level younger players haven't reached yet. Steven Gerrard. At Liverpool, he was the one-man army. Captain, leader, goal-scorer, defender, creator, destroyer. In different matches, he played every role. Under Benitez in 2005, he dragged Liverpool to a Champions League final they had no business winning, then scored in the final and converted his penalty in the shootout. Under Dalglish and Rodgers, he became a deep-lying playmaker who controlled tempo and sprayed passes. In his prime, Gerrard could do everything. His slip in 2014 against Chelsea became his legacy for casual fans. But anyone who watched him for 17 years knows the truth. He was the complete midfielder who carried an average team on his back for over a decade. If he'd played for a better team, his trophy cabinet would look very different. Paul Pogba. He's the ultimate what-if of this generation. At Juventus, he was untouchable. Power, creativity, technical brilliance, highlight reel goals. Manchester United paid a world record $89 million to bring him back in 2016, expecting him to carry them back to glory. Instead, he became a symbol of inconsistency and a result of a club in tragic decline. And yet, on his day, Pogba was still one of the best midfielders on the planet. The 2018 World Cup proved it. Goal in the final, dominant performances throughout. A doping ban in 2023 paused his career, but Pogba belongs here because of his ability, blending technique, elite in creation, press resistance, power, and range. Vitinha. At PSG, he's quietly become one of the most intelligent midfielders in Europe. Not the loudest, not the most physical, but the smartest. His body orientation, his scanning, his understanding of space, it's all elite. Under Luis Enrique, he's evolved into a controller-creator hybrid who dictates matches with positioning and passing angles. In 2025, he's 25 years old and already essential to PSG's system. The question is whether he can sustain this across multiple seasons and on the biggest stages. For now, he's a modern minimalist, controlling moments, not yet entire matches, but he's closer than most. Level 7. The Architect. Xavi Hernandez. Football IQ made physical. His positioning always 2 steps ahead. Passing that broke defensive structures before they formed. Tempo control that felt like conducting an orchestra. Guardiola's Barcelona was the greatest team ever assembled. Xavi was a vital reason.
He completed over 90% of his passes, not by playing safe, but by making the right decision every single time. Pass forward, recycle, switch, repeat. The ball moved because Xavi dictated it. Coaches now teach Xavi positioning, scanning before receiving, checking shoulders, creating passing angles. Since he retired in 2015, Barcelona has tried to replace him. All excellent players, none of them Xavi. Andrea Pirlo. He played football in a different time zone than everyone else. While opponents sprinted, Pirlo walked. While they chased, he positioned. While they panicked, he controlled. At AC Milan and Juventus, he redefined what a deep-lying playmaker could be. Sitting in front of the defense, spraying 60-yard passes and dictating games without breaking stride. His free kicks were art. His long balls, surgical. His tempo control, godlike. The 2006 World Cup final, where Italy beat France, was Pirlo's masterpiece. Zidane got sent off. Pirlo controlled everything. At 36, he moved to New York City FC and still dominated MLS like a man playing against children. Not through speed or strength, but through understanding time itself. Pirlo played when he wanted, how he wanted, and nobody could stop him. Andres Iniesta. Spatial perfection in human form. At Barcelona, he glided through spaces that didn't exist for other players. His first touch took him away from pressure. His second opened up passing lanes. His third started an attack. Under Guardiola, Iniesta played as an interior, drifting between the lines and creating overloads that destroyed defenses. His goal in the 2010 World Cup final gave Spain their first ever title. Iniesta understood football as an art form. Not just where to pass, but when. Not just how to dribble, but why. Some players define positions. Iniesta transcended them. Zinedine Zidane. Zizou dominated through technical brilliance and mental superiority. His first touch was flawless. His vision absurd. His composure under pressure inhuman. But what separated him was his understanding of moments. The 2002 Champions League final volley against Leverkusen. The 2006 World Cup performances. The way he could take over matches without sprinting, without shouting, just by existing. Opponents respected him. Teammates trusted him. Managers built systems around him without asking. Zidane made football feel inevitable. When he received the ball, you knew something was about to happen. That aura, that control and calmness, that's level 7. Paul Scholes. He did it all, and nobody outside England noticed until it was too late. At Manchester United, he scored goals like a striker, passed like a playmaker, and tackled like, well, let's skip that part. Scholes' range of passing was absurd. 60-yard diagonals that landed on a teammate's boot, through balls that split defenses, quick combinations in tight spaces. He scored over 150 goals for United from midfield, controlled tempo like Carrick, created chances like De Bruyne, and did it all without fanfare. Guardiola called him the best midfielder of his generation. Xavi said he was the model he studied. Pirlo praised his intelligence. When other level 7 players say you're the best, the debate is over. Scholes was the complete midfielder before complete midfielder was a term. These players are the players you can place anywhere in the midfield, and you know they will deliver a world-class performance. Sitting deep, box to box, or the number 10 role, these players have the ability and understanding to solve it.
From headless chickens to architects. The beauty of midfield is that every level has value. Sometimes you just need Fred to run until his legs fall off. Sometimes you need De Bruyne to split a defense with one pass. Did we leave out any honorable mentions in this video? Where did we underestimate or overestimate a player's ability? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this one, you'll love what's coming next.